Hey, folks! I was messing with my volume here real quick. Hold on. There we go. Hey, we're going to do some streaming here. We're going to work on the Crystals of Mabar, the cartography that we've been working on for the past 20 sessions, 30 sessions. Jeez, McCrow. This thing is a monster, and it's taking a while, but it's going to be worth it. So give me a hot second here to check my signal. Sounds like me. Cool. Let's see. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted I'm live on Twitter. So if you want to find out in the future if I'm live, I recommend that you like and subscribe and hit the bell and comment so that YouTube knows that this should be presented more often. But on top of that, you can always just add me on Twitter at Phil Kearney so you get the notification as well. I'm also going to take a few moments here just to punch signals across the interwebs. Hold on here. So I'm Phil. I make DMsGuild PDFs for 5e games. They're published on DMsGuild. You can check in the description down below. There's a link to a slew of books that I've made, and you can read them all 100%, like cover to cover, full preview. If you click on the eye icon, if you're on your phone or mobile, and if you are on a desktop, you can click full preview and it'll pull up a sample PDF of the work that I've done, so you can check out the artwork, the production, all the mechanics that are involved with it. People should be able to read stuff and see if it's something they want to use or not. And generally, if you go back and visit it a second time, or if you just think it's super cool, then make a purchase. I appreciate it. I'm just going to finish up punching my signal here real quick, and then we're going to open up the map that we've been working on, and we're going to just dive in here for an hour or so. That's resolved. Like and subscribe if you doesn't mind. I'm going to get these things out of the way. So we're here, and hey, Hornetico, man, it's good to see you, dude. Yeah, folks, give me a shout if there's anything you got to say. Here's the cover that we built back like around episode, I don't know, 20, 30 something. Maybe, no, this one may have been in the 40s. Like 42, 43, I think. I'm pretty happy with it. But bam, here's the map that we've been working on. What a monster. Just to walk us through the paces again real quick. Here is the black, and let me conceal that roof. Here's our black and white version. The 5-foot scale, it's a 52 inches wide, 58 inches tall. I think you finished it on the mid 40s. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 52 by 58 inch map. That's okay. It's only when you go into a VTT, it'll only be 70 DPI, so it shouldn't chug you down too much. It'll work. Here's how we break up the black and white version. The VTT will use color. And when you print it in black and white, you have these 10 by 14 inch spaces that you can then feed through a printer on an 11 by 17 legal document, legal sheet size document. So you have 20 sheets in total. Super low abuse of your printer's ink. So if you're being conservative like that and sitting in meat space, do that. Otherwise, I recommend you go with the color version, bloop, which I have here. Again, at 70 dpi. I'm building it at 100 dpi, so at 70 dpi, it'll sit fine, and it'll be relatively low impact on your computer. Hopefully, it doesn't sweat mine at all, so hopefully it doesn't sweat yours either. But we've been working on the water swirls here for a while. All of them are done except for this puddle, this puddle, this puddle, and this puddle here. We also have some crystal grit that we need to put on these stairs, and then we'll include as separate pieces these roofs that you can, in the VTT, you can just lift them off, or just click on them and then drop them to background beneath the actual floor or the actual map layer. So you can stack these roofs on top of the rest of the map, and then in the black and white versions for your tabletop, these will just be cut out just white squares with whatever. I mean, they're gonna have like grit and like the color versions have grit and stuff all over them. But the black and white version, again, we're trying to go with minimal color impact. So we don't even have any grit or anything. We may put some, I might end up putting some language around these puddles and these water. The water line I think does okay, but I may end up putting in some texturing, just like some light texturing, just to distinguish that these are puddles versus ground. But I'm not gonna go crazy with all the grit that we have on the ground here. That's the reason for the color bit. The black and white version is there just to be super lo-fi. You can always show somebody a picture of the map because you'll have pictures anyway. You get it. Yeah, low impact. So getting back into it here. You know what? I think I'm going to take a hot second here from the water and jump in here real quick and just work on this crystal grit. Just get those stairs resolved. So that's 100% there. I'm going to, oops, there it is. Bloop, bloop. Check my size over here. I can generally take these things up to 60 or 70, but I generally like to be more like around 40 DPI. So I'm just gonna do like this. I'm just gonna be, you know, lazy blazer and fill this stuff in like yonder. I like that. I really like this language that we've found to help distinguish stairs. I think that looks super good. I'm very pleased with that step up effect, and so I get to do that here as well. That was a 9-pixel eraser that I was using there, so I get to do that again here in a minute when I finish up these stairs. I'm going to first just saturate them with crystals. For folks that aren't indoctrinated yet, this is the Eberron Adventure Crystals of Mabar. It's a 7th, or it's 4 to 5 characters of level 7 or 8 is ideal. It's got, you could one-shot if you wanted to by teleporting into the 3rd act with a specific laundry list of like MacGuffins and tasks that you have to perform to complete your quest. As part of an extended campaign, you can, hold on, I better, yeah, that should be fun. I'm going to grab this. As an extended campaign, you can start all the way back in Act 1. It'll probably give you maybe 30, 40 some hours worth of entertainment. If you do everything, if you do absolutely everything in the adventure, go everywhere, kill everything, talk to everyone, search everywhere, a good solid 40 hours of activity that you can get through. So you can definitely, like, if you come in at 7th level, you can get out at 8th. If you come in at 8th level, you can get out at 9th, no problem. If you want to make a campaign out of it and extend all this stuff, you could start at 7th, potentially level up while you're still working your way through the manifest zone. Go back to home base in the Thorpe back at scene back in Act 1, level up, and then go back in at 8th level to finish the place off. If you wanted to, you could do that. I had a couple different DMs at this point play tested independently of my supervision, and the consensus amongst it was like 9 players between the 2 DMs. Consensus was it was a badass time. The DMs point out some just clarification bits about like mechanics of doors, or like what kind of creatures are in there, or positioning of stuff and timing of things. Pretty low intensity critiques, and weren't even really critiques. Just, hey, this could use some clarification, which is freaking fantastic news. Because God, if this continues on as it is, then it's going to be a solid piece of literature for folks to chew on, and the artwork should be just gorgeous, and I'm so looking forward to this. This and the Spelljammer project we're working on is just some really intense work. Till now, if you check down the link down below, you'll see the 5-color mana spell point variant rules, core mechanics. That's a 75-page document, and of course you can read it cover to cover. But this and the Spelljammer documents are probably going to clip in like around 125 pages a pop. That's very big projects, and my biggest works yet. And it's just getting me more and more confident about when I eventually move into my own space and build my own RPG that's like 250 pages or whatever, that I'll be up for the task. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be very intimidating for me by the time I actually get there. So I'm really loving the amount of work that this is going into, because it's just building strength for me. So we've got what else we got? We got the Martial Powers book, which is probably going to end up being like around 60 some odd pages when that thing is done. And I am holding off on. I'm still building it every Monday at lunchtime, the Martial Powers lunch stream. But I'm just gonna sit and let it simmer. No rush, because I don't want to have that come back to me from edits before both this and the Spelljammer book are off my plate, because then I'm going to be I gotta do the book cover after you send off the book to edits. That's when I build my book cover, because I can race my editor on which gets done first, and so like I always say, if you start with the cover finished before you do layouts, then you're going to be able to, well, I'll be able to anyway, not feel rushed to get the book done, just or not rushed to get the cover done just for the sake of having the book published, because that's how you inbreed mistakes into your work, and I don't need to do any of that. So, but yeah, man, everything's just crushing along. Super pleased. I know I need to set a timer eventually. I think I have my stuff stacked. Yeah, we're stacked right. Just picking at these things a little bit. I was hanging out on the Spelljammer Discord earlier today, and we got into a pissing match about who could reference the most obscure 80s cartoon. And I think I want to say I won with Ulysses 3031, because some people didn't know what that was, which is, swagger. But I also think Visionaries would have capped it off for me as well. But I didn't need to pull out Visionaries. That's a titan. That's a pretty cool cartoon, by the way. If you haven't seen Visionaries, neat cartoon. Is that all? Yeah, that's it. Pretty. Okay, cool. So, yeah. I need to texture. I need to grit up the sarcophagus lids. But I'm not quite there yet. I got the grit on the step of them all. Pretty happy with how that's looking. So we can go ahead and close that up. We'll get to the roofs eventually. I'm just gonna pull them in there just to annoy the hell out of me. Like, we'll do something like, I don't know, something like, it'll end up being something like that. I don't know, something like that. Who knows? Or maybe like a small thing like that. Fuck, I don't know, man. I'm just messing around. We'll figure it out. But we're not there right now. Right now we're in the swamp. So let's get into it. I think that's where I left off. Let's see. How are we looking over here? I'm liking how that's coming along. Pretty happy with these. Happy with that. This is coming along. I don't think it's quite there yet. Happy with this. Pretty damn happy with this. Actually, I think this is actually pretty much done. Let me get the right tool for the job back in here. Boop. 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 Smooth that out of it. Ah, this is the right time for me to set a clock. 7:15. I think we'll go maybe 80 minutes today. I want to make sure I get a decent night's sleep tonight. I've been pushing myself pretty damn hard in the past week, so I want to make sure I get some good therapeutic emotional sleep in, and hit the ground running tomorrow morning. So we'll be back. We're going to be back in a little less than 11 hours to continue Spelljammer token production tomorrow morning. And hey, Tyler, man, what up, dude? Good to see you, my man. Long time no see. Yeah, we're going to, so we're going to kick at this for another hour or so, and then work on more token production tomorrow. Saturday stream, I honestly don't know what Saturday stream is going to look like. I'm thinking the Spelljammer edits. I got those back from Adam, and so. It's looking great. He did a smash job on editing it, but he did such a great job on editing it that I actually found some flaws. Here's the great thing about editing. When you send off the manuscript to your editor, and your editor cleans up the text and does all the clarification bits, when they hand it back to you clean and you approve off everything, then you reread the document, and just like little things pop out, like, oh, I could have. Now that I see how that language is supposed to be written, I realize there's a gap in information there that I just need to add a couple sentences. Like, it was inferred but not spelled out. So if you spell out things properly in your work, then you can rely on that stuff further down the document. You can infer the information that you've already referenced before. And I was lacking in reference in some areas, and B, I was citing mechanics earlier in the document than where they were described later. I floated around in the book, so when you work late in a document and you introduce mechanics late in the work that you end up making use of earlier in the work, you now have to figure out how are you going to, like a command die, for instance. Most people don't know what a command die is. So if you see me talking about a command die on the 5th page of the document, and I haven't defined what a command die is yet until page 35, you're like, what the hell is a command die for 35 pages? And it's too much of a mechanic for me just to curtly say, oh yeah, by the way, this is what a command die is. You'll learn more about that later. No, what you got to do is make sure you're going thorough through the mechanics of what a command die will do, and then you can start referencing command dies throughout the rest of the document. So I had to shift that one piece that was on the 5th page and punt it back to page 80, where it would fall into place properly. Actually, page 57. Thank you. And so it would properly reference, and there was space for it later in the document. So little shit like that you have to shuffle things around, because honestly, once your editor starts reading the document like 4 or 5, 10 times while they go through the process, they get a little swimmy about where things are introduced, because they just start to grok it too. So that is something that, if you're looking at about publishing larger documents, that's the kind of crap you have to pay attention to. So you have to read the thing to the point where you're sick of reading it, That's generally when you bring in your editor, and then your editor looks at it until he's sick of it. He's like, here you go. It's the best I can do. And then you chew on it again. It's like, oh yeah, this, and this we're missing. Or I had to reword this thing because of how we restructured this language over here. And then he does a second pass, and then he passes that back. And at that point, the document is generally good to go. I'm normally done with a piece after a second pass. So, but I also like dump a shit ton of time into actually developing it out in the first place to get it to the point where it's pretty self-reinforcing with logic. So then when you go through that second pass, it's like, great, this is good to go. I can export it, drop it into the page layout program, Word, Microsoft Word, because I work on the cheap. And the Word, the reason we're doing this stuff is so that we can show other people how plausible and doable it is to actually create documents. I mean, maybe you don't have the art experience. You probably want to, maybe if you don't have that, track somebody down that you like the art style and hook up with them to work on it. But I'm one of those lucky, on the DMsGuild, they say I'm lucky to have started artwork 30 years ago and then decided to get into design. Because now I get to do cool stuff like this, like, talk about my shit for hours and paint while people say stuff. Hey, yeah, editing is always an ordeal like that. Hell yeah, it is. Never get to watch. Yeah, you do. It'll be a good 80 minutes that will be around, something like that. And then, I'll be back in the morning, and then I'll be around for Saturday. But yeah, Mondays and Thursday nights I'm on stream, and then every morning except for Sunday, and then Marshall Powers lunch. I think I'm pretty happy with this as it sits. What do you guys think? Is that look cool? Or does it just look confusing? Because if it doesn't read right, I got to keep working on it. But hopefully... Drop our grid on it. Bloop. There you go. So wade into that crap if you want. If your characters start over here, or even worse, over here. But over here, they only got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. They only have 40 feet worth of visibility because of the thick fog effect that fills the manifest zone, which means that I can, any DM can use any one of these 4 pits as if you ever played that video game Gauntlet, they have the monster generators that you had to dig through all the monsters to destroy the generator. Well, you can do the same thing with this, where wherever the characters start, as long as you have with that fog effect, anything that's more than 40 feet away from them, it's obscured. So you can just have stuff coming at them from the mist, and if there's a steady feed of ghouls and crystal encrusted skeletons heading your way, then you're gonna want to track down where the hell those things are coming from and eliminate it, which is these pits. So I'm gonna actually work over here. So obscuring vision, it's a lot easier. The way that we can manage it in meat space, right? If we're just working on a tabletop, is because you have these sheets, right? As a DM, you can just lay down 1 or 2 sheets at a time, and you can have creatures coming in from off screen, off the sheet. So like these are 11 by 14 pages. Like you trim the 11 by 17 down to 10 by 14. So like a Chessex scroll map is like 36 by 48. So that's 36. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 30 inches wide, and 3 sheets at 14 inches. That's 42. So if you're used to the 36 by 48 Chessex maps, you can use a 3 by 3 grid here, and you can like lead them in from here, and as they proceed through the environment, then you can shift it. See, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 wide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. So if you're doing a 3x3 block on your chessex, you don't have to. You can just slide the sheets and peel off the ones on the receding side and just add on other pages on the incoming side. But the characters can't ever see all of the map at once, because like if they're in the center here, that's 5 inches to here, or 5 inches, which is 25 feet. So somewhere halfway here, like this is about all they can. Here, I'm gonna do that. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do that. No. I'm trying to do a thing here, buddy. Oh, that's right. That color's hidden. The worst. So if I'm here, I'm gonna have an effective visual zone of about like this. So that means if I have these 3 pages here laid out, then I can always have things coming in from off stage that you can't see them coming. If you really want to be oppressive, you can just limit it to 2x2 sheet. So like if like your characters are on this board, you can just have 1 sheet here, 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 and here, and only show them the pages that are flanking, and then have things coming in from off flank. So you can still simulate the fog effect in meat space by just limiting how much map they can see at a time. It's like, here you go. Like if they go, like when they go into the crypt, this is all they can see on that page. They come through the door, and this is their limit. So you have that limitation. If they're doing these crypts here, while they're inside of these shrines, this is basically the only part of the map that you have to show them. And you can have creatures coming in from off stage on other map presence. And then when we get down into the actual dungeon space, we can have individual rooms that will peel off and be able to drop 1 room at a time, and then you have the hallway that connects the rooms. So you can have a hallway piece, and then the DM can just slap down whatever room it is that they're walking up on. So you're always controlling how much space they're seeing by keeping these micro dungeons with super limited vision, because the fog gets denser the further down in the ground and closer to the nexus that you get to the manifest zone. So you see less and less as you go. So the DM doesn't have to. So the DM can reveal less and less information as he proceeds. And then of course on a virtual tabletop, you can of course just use fog of war. So they're only seeing what you want them to see out to the range that they have: 40 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet. There you go. So it's pretty straightforward. I think. I like to think it's straightforward, but I built the thing. So, but so far, like I said, the DMs that have been playtesting, they didn't have any difficulties with it. So that tells me that we're doing pretty good. And if I actually build this in Roll20 using the DMsGuild access to Roll20, I can just sell you the Roll20 document with all the assets preloaded into it, ready to go. So that's pretty cool. Back to work. I'm done geeking out for the moment, so back to work. Glurble. Blah, 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 blah. What do you guys think? Is this looking cool? Here, and there. I'm gonna do it. water. Mmm. Here, lumps around, one color. No, that's not working. Like this. Are my own, and watching the stream is always difficult. Sometimes I don't see things. Yeah, right on, man. I'm just asking if like this patterning, this formatting looks cool in general, as it's something I've been working on. I was trying to get the puddliness language of it. I mean, I know the blue helps make it read as water, but it's fairly ambitious design. I think it looks natural, which I assume is what you're looking for. Yeah, yeah, natural. Yeah, that flows well. That it looks like liquid flow. You know. Excellent. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That is all I could hope. Honestly. Badass, man. Making my day. I trust that you would call me out if something looks weird, because I think you and I in particular, I think we have that respect as artists. And I think you know that, like, if you need some honest critique, like having smoke blown up your ass is like the last thing you need. Like, I get enough compliments as it is. Just cleaning up this edge a little bit. There we go. Blurble that in. Nice. What are you working on today, my dude? Well, that makes you a powerful ally, my friend. I'm working on NPC art for one of my campaigns. Excellent. I like to have the visual reference for important characters. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I used to draw NPCs all the time. I'd do little standees, you know, like those little card inserts with like a little feet. I actually still have my all my little standees from second edition. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can pull off a miracle here real quick. I'm gonna be right back. It's my 6th demon bag. Earth, wind, fire, that sort of thing. Let's take a look at what we got in here. It's my little treasure trove. I'm gonna do this. I'm taking a quick tangent here. I don't even know why. It's just what my heart's telling me to do right now. So I'm going to really working. Huh. All right, well, that failed. I guess I may as well just leave that up. Let's see. What's some of this stuff? I've got a huge... is it still blinky light? That burned out a long time ago. And let's see. Where's some of this? There we go. These little things here. Open them up and thank you, Timely Timer, for reminding me that I'm completely off base right now. It's yeah, we're good there. Yeah, so you have these things and then you insert them like that so that they, I don't know if I can, you can see they stand like that and then they stand up. Get out of my world. They stand up on their own. And this is the, but these are the little standees that actually came in the Spelljammer box set. And I don't think, do I have any? Hold on real quick. Here's the damn biggest D4 I ever had. God, I just swear. Here's the tiniest D6 I ever had. No, it doesn't look like I can find it. Must be in a different bag hidden away someplace. I still have like asteroids and stuff from Spelljammer. But yeah, those little standees, that was the original Spelljammer box set that from like 30 years ago. Yeah, 34 years ago. Oh well. Oh well, I thought I had, wait. Nah. Oh well. Fool's errand. Don't have them. I thought I had a little. I still had some of the little standee punch out silhouettes of ships, but apparently I can't find them. Anyway, whatever. Never mind. What a waste of time, Kearney. But yeah, I use all sorts of garbage. Like when I'm in meat space, I use yeah. Anyway, the point was, I take these. I do little. I do illustrations of characters, and I would shrink them down to the 5-foot scale. So, like, if you were playing like a Goliath that's like 8 feet tall, then it would be 1.5 inches tall, and then I would put on the little standee thing here, and it'd have a front and a back. It'd be the same. You know, it'd be the same character standing both ways. Like they have like action poses and stuff like that. But yeah, standees are freaking cool, man. Time travel trip. Yeah, sorry, that wasn't as cool as it could have been, but it was also unplanned. So I mean, you know, forgive me. But yeah, I'm just gonna get back to work. I got shit to do. But that was fun. It's like little black and white character sketches and like make little like ships and mecha and stuff like that. Have them running around the battlefield tearing people up. It was cool. You know what? I'm not liking that at all. This is Get rid of that. Screw you, Oofles. Ooh, fuss. What I should do is create a new layer. Do like this. As a separate layer, I can mess around without screwing stuff up. So I feel like I need to mess around without screwing stuff up right now. On point. Like that, there. Tyler, my dude, what's been shaking, dude? Nice. I'm happy with that. Not sure if I'm happy with this. Something like that. Yeah, no, those little pockets like that shouldn't be anywhere except for where there's water circulating around itself. So that is a misstep there, my sir. There, let's just sweep that back in. Keep my beach clean. Ooh, fuss. That's what I'm talking about. Looking good. I like these little pocket things. Yeah, but I don't want to overdo it. Everything turn has a season. Turn. Yeah, we'll do it like that. This is probably as close as someone's really going to look on a VTT. This is about 60%. That's pretty good. I think structurally, I've been slow cooking in the background. Alternate language to terms that I use in the different command books that I've been building, so that when I do decide to leave the sheltered bay of DMsGuild, I'll be able to take all the unique mechanical ideas that I came up with and have alternate wording on them, so I can just go through the document and switch out all the language, so I can start kicking out books that I've built before in faster production cycles, using the Phil D20 system, whatever it is that I come up with. But I'm excited about that. It's I like that you can't copyright mechanics just the way that you word them. So like a command die is one thing, but like a commander die is technically different. I just add ER onto anywhere it says command die, and then Bob's your uncle. Or like instead of a squad, I can have a platoon. Obviously, I can't steal Spelljammer stuff specifically, but there's a lot better mechanics I can use for interdimensional travel on vehicles than what Wizards gave us. I just give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. So, and I love Spelljammer. I really do. I don't even care that Wizards of the Coast kind of dropped the ball with the whole details thing in any of their books. I just think it's silly that they still sell all those books on DMsGuild. All the second edition Spelljammer stuff, all the Dragonlance books, all the Planescape books, like they're still there. I just don't understand why they don't sell them. It's like, hey, our new Spelljammer setting came out, and if you want inspiration for your own campaigns, here's 7 books you can buy in a Spelljammer bundle. Like here, get 20 PDFs for $5 or something. Do a kicker. They're just, them saying that D&D is under monetized, I think it's because they're lazy and dumb. It's just not to be too mean at you guys, but I mean, you have 30 years worth of stuff. If you really don't want to build out things because the lore is there already, fucking promote the lore that's already there. Just put a blurb in the back end of your book. It's like, hey, here's a link and a discount code for you buying a shitload of content that's super cool that we've built over the past 30 years. Dive into this stuff. Just dive in. Like they could easily do that. No, hey man, that's no problem. Got left behind. No problem, Tyler. I'm glad that you're driving safe, my man. It's late where you're at, isn't it? Wait, are you in Oregon or are you east side? I don't remember. Boise. Oh, right on. Oh, 851. Oh, okay, right on. That's right, Idaho. Thank you. So you're pretty close by. No! All my loose change is running away. Get back here, scallywag. Alright. Get back to work, Kearney. You slacker! God, I am so looking forward to getting the Squads and Armies book produced. I'm all already looking at the next thing, but I've still got a while to go before this piece is done and before the Spelljammer book are done. But I am really wanting to get into Warforged, like mecha, like Warforged mecha stuff in Eberron. Like I am chomping at the bit for it. but I can't actually start doing that until I have both the Spelljammer book and the Squads and Armies book complete, because I need to have the full language about how to scale from 5 feet to 5 miles type of stuff. And the Spelljammer does a great job for vehicles, and I could pull off like giant robots after Spelljammer publishes, but I want to make sure I've got proper support for small grunts and like scout bots and small scale, like literally like small with a capital S size golems to have running around. I had such a I gotta say, I think the favorite campaign I've ever ran in Eberron was using Cypher system. That was such a Cypher is super gonzo, man. It is a fast and loose system. If you don't think about too hard about like if you level like 6 or 7 times in a Cypher campaign, you're gonna start seeing optimization, min-maxing opportunities. They jump out at you pretty easily depending on what kind of character you're building. But it's such a great, fast, loose narrative system. I just absolutely love Cypher, and I had such a great Eberron Warforged campaign that when we migrated to 5e, I picked up a lot of the Cypher concepts, like the actual like artifacts and Cypher equipment. Ciphers in the Numenera system it's just strange technology that's just still laying around after eons that interact, like you'll see like a little glowing box, you don't know why it glows, you don't know what it does, well, like it like makes a beeping sound every now and again, something random like that. But like after the say 7th or 8th adventure, the team realizes it's a homing beacon for a kill robot. It's like you've been carrying this thing around with you and it's like, oh, it's gonna get us killed. That's great. But then like you'll pick up like for some reason there's lots of pills and needles in Numenera, like and the whole culture on that game, like the Gonzo generic like kitchen sink. The Gonzo kitchen sink version of Numenera is that everyone knows that there's like multiple cultures that existed before the one that we're in currently, and that it's like godlike technology that's just left astray, and like there's like the cloud, the internet cloud is still there's still satellites in orbit that can maintain a virtual reality if you can find a way to hack your consciousness into it. But like there's all like you'll find like all these pills and like different injection things in you, like if like you can inject yourself with this chemical and it turns you into a dog for an hour. It's like, but people in the campaign, they're cool with it. They're like, yeah, well, we're gonna get killed one way or the other. We may as well inject ourselves with this stuff to see what it does. Like, what are you doing? It's a madness culture. It's super fun. But ciphers are temporary items. Like once you use that injection, it's gone and you'll never get it back. But like in a D&D campaign, it could be like a type of herb that if you make tea with it and you drink it, then you turn into a dog, for instance. Like you can potions are super easy to do. Like one-shot grenades, like pardon the pun, but like grenade-like weapons are easy to do. To make like little magic stone, like power stones that are enchanted with a chaotic, destructive magic, and all sorts of fun. Like ciphers are all about shitloads of cool effects that are one-shot only. And so once you use them once, they're gone for good. But if you keep too many of them on you, they start interacting poorly, and like they cause like radioactive effects. They can self-destruct because like this quantum energy over here doesn't work well with this neutrino energy over here, and Any matter, everyone within 15 feet's dead, you know? So they encourage you not to stack up and like stockpile Cypher, because the shit's just dangerous to have laying around. It's that's actually a very 4th edition Gamma World sort of thing. In 4th edition Gamma World, you have psionic powers or mutant powers that you can use once, and every time you roll a natural 1 in that game, if you don't have a mutation, you get a new one. If you have a mutation, you mutate and it turns into something else. So basically, the style of play is roll dice for skill checks, ability challenges, attacking stuff, saving throws. Roll as often as you can, and as soon as you get a mutation, find the best, find the quickest use, like however quickly you can use it to get it off of your plate, because it may sound super cool, but you could roll a 1 next and then it's gone. So you use it or lose it, basically, is the whole theme of that campaign, of that whole game system. And it's also like super gonzo like that. Shitloads of 1-use magic items that you keep. Like they had this card deck, like an item deck. It was the size of playing cards, and you would basically have a deck of technology, and each character can have their own deck. So you can build out the style. Like when you loot something, you get to pull a card from the loot deck, and it's going to be a magic item of some sort, whatever, like a one-shot magic item. But you can build your own custom deck to bring in with you. So like if I'm going to play an insectile creature, I can have a whole bunch of insect-themed magic items in my loot deck. So I'm pulling off my own deck, and then the DM can build their own loot deck off of like this facility is controlled by I don't know, glowworms. And so you can have a bunch of glowworm themed magic items in your deck. So whenever it randomizes, you can either pull one from your deck, or you could pull one from the DM's deck, depending, on what you want. So they kind of worked their way into monetizing, selling trading cards or collectible cards off of that game. It just never took off, but it was a pretty smart idea. I liked it anyway. But I also like it. That temporary magic allows you to do cool things like build custom decks. Like it's a neat little mechanic. 3rd edition, the Crusader, out of the Book of Nine Swords, they had a randomizer of what type of like martial maneuvers were available to you. Each round you would draw another card, and you'd have this growing stack of power of like feats or techniques or whatever, stances, stuff like that your character was inspired to perform, and that inspiration was represented by this growing stack of cards that you draw during combat. And when you use one of them, you put it to you shuffle, you put it at the bottom of your deck, and when you go through your whole deck, you shuffle it. So you scatter. Each combat, you shuffle the deck while you're rolling an initiative, and then you keep that sequence, so you get through this like rolling rotation of I know like Cleave is coming up, so I'm going to try to position myself so that 2 rounds from now, when Cleave comes up in my deck again, I've got 3 enemies lined up with low hit points. I can knock all of them down with 1 attack. That sort of stuff. That was a fun deck building, sequencing sort of thing. I never really got deep into the Crusader like that, but I respected. Some of my friends liked it a lot, and so we'd see decks crawling around. That was another neat deck concept that Wizards tried. It was cool though. There. I think that feels pretty good. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. It needs some cleaning up, but I'm good with it. Structurally, I'm good with it. Structurally, I'm good with this one. This one actually doesn't need very much. This one doesn't actually need much cleaning up at all. It's pretty good. This is a little choppy still. All these smaller puddles are totally good. I've got that one. I've got this one. Which one do we want to work on, huh? Left or right? Left or right? Which one do you guys like more? I think I should work on this one. I'm gonna merge this down and start up a new one. I'm just far enough away. If we wanted to hang out, it would be a weekend getaway. Yeah, right on, man. Well, keep me updated on that. Find yourself drifting into Seattle at some point, definitely let me know. Oh, we're on to the new song. Never mind. I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this one too. God, we're close. You know, I love when I look up from a picture and I realize that it's like almost done. I'm like, oh, holy shit, this guy's resolving. That is a wonderful feeling, and that is about where we're at with this map. My God, we've spent so much time on this map. It's a monster. I really don't think. Yeah, the underground bunker is not going to be nearly as intensive as this because there's a lot more. There's a lot more wall. It's a bigger area, like it's a bigger overall map, but there's a lot of walls that are, you know, tunnels and stuff running through a dungeon. So there's a lot of unused space. I don't actually need to worry all that much about other than just, you know, wall texture, which is, you know, I've gotten pretty good at that at this point. No. Oh, my derp. Thank you. God, I am so hungry. My food has been out of control lately. I have not been able to. I got myself back down to 219 again the other day, but then I had chili, and so that thick beef chili, and so that put me back up to like the 222, and it'll take a few days. Like, my body hangs on to beef forever, so it's gonna be a few days before that whittles down again. So I gotta get back on the salads again. I'm getting too old, man. My body is. I never had a fast metabolism to begin with, but it is just getting chuggy slow. I never believed when I was in my 20s that I would ever have old person problems until I got old. And like, fucking A. Lucky for me, I love salad. So it's just inconvenient for me to go grab it a lot of times. So what is going on over here, Munchico? Danku. Huh. What is going on over here? Yeah. Embankment. Oh, well, that's cute. Okay. I found a missing patch. Let's fix that. There you go, kitties. Cheers. Hit save, take a read. Unable to get lower than 217 for years. Yeah, it's just... I can starve myself down pretty good. I just, I don't know. Like 3 years ago, 1 meal a day was pretty damn easy for me to process and maintain. It's just gotten oddly difficult lately. I'm going to have to assume it's my body's metabolism slowing down further. It's the only thing that makes sense. I ate in the month of July 2019. I ate 5 meals that month, and I lost 20 pounds. That was that was before I worked from home. That's what it is. The culture shift of me working from home. It used to be that I would just be able to focus on job in the office until lunchtime, and then I'd get out, run around, have a good meal, like a lot of vegetables, a lot of leafy stuff, like filling stuff, low cal count. That would fill me for the day, and then I just didn't have any. I just didn't keep any food at home, so I'm at home, 0 food, carry on. And I'm gonna merge that down. And now it's just, I can't get away from the food. The source of my food is it's like right over there. It's impossible to get away from it. And there's this delivery, and I'm so close to the mall. There's a shitload of food that's like literally right now. Like if I want to walk over and grab a bucket of wings or a pizza, or like literally any type of food is within walking distance. It's awesome, to be able to walk over and grab stuff, but I don't know. Maybe I need to empty out my home again and just go back to having to walk outside to go get food. Like keep 0 food in the house. That would get me out and walking more, which would be good. It'd be more time consuming, which is bad. But it would also allow me to have a lot tighter control over the food that I'm having. I don't know. Because that's what people want to tune into, listening to Phil muse about his dietary and health changes. But that's the kind of crap you think about when you stare at pixels for, what is this, the 90th episode? We're at our 90th episode. That's insane. God, that's insane. I'm really interested to see what type of art manifests in this book once we get the layouts taken care of. I have to do all the maps first, because when we actually start doing layouts, we then can cut up the map into chunks and then put them on the page with all the text that's describing that chunk of map. So we have to know what exactly it is that we got going on the map, so we know where we can chop things up properly. So we're kind of stuck doing this until it's done, because we can't really move forward with the product until the maps are done. So that's why the editing's not done anyway. Stuart keeps finding things that he's like, oh god, can I add this bit in? Like he would, last time I touched base with him, it was last week, and he was dreaming up the. So this is a graveyard, and all the graves here are Karnathi soldiers that were stationed at the fort here defending this manifest zone. And his thought process was, let's flip that. Instead of them being stationed here, they were stationed here to keep eye on the fortress, but they were there to keep things, bad things, from coming out of the manifest zone. So these are like demon fighters, and so he was building up this this mythos around these demon warriors that were all buried here, so that their spirits could continue to protect the manifest zone from evil incursions. And so the necromancers coming in here is kind of crapping on their chi. So that's why the undead are so angry in the area, because their purpose is being perverted to be used against them. They're being commanded to do the things that they swore an oath to protect Karnathi from. So that's like that. Wow, that's just cool as shit. So it's like, yeah, man, if you want to add like little like there's a statue in this gazebo, and there's runes and stuff on this gazebo, and he's like, I think I can do things with that. I'm like, okay, man, do it. It's slowing down the editing process, but it's also like he's just thinking of things like little flavor details like that I don't have enough intimate knowledge about Eberron to be able to pull off. I'm like, you know, I'm like a casual Eberron enthusiast. It's my favorite campaign, but I am not a lore nut, because I take to heart Keith's statements like, make this your own place. Only use what's useful to you, and I keep creating like alternate, like I don't have like the space opera is the only like real unifying mechanic in my homebrew campaign about Eberron, but like everything else is different from campaign to campaign, and I just take like little flavor cues from all the lore tidbits that are all throughout Eberron. But some people like Stuart are just like steeped in that knowledge. And so as my editor, he's like, oh yeah, I see an instance here where I can do this and that. And I'm like, I want to make an instance of this. Are you cool with that? I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, it's happened like 6 times. I'm having a hard time remembering what all of them are, but it's been a few times that he's come in and like, yeah, I wanted to do this, or I made this change because it made a lot of sense. You're cool with that? I'm like, hell yeah, I am. I hope I make him lots of money, because goddamn Stuart deserves it. You hear that, Stuart? I want to make you lots of money, dude. Let's keep doing this stuff. So once this actually does publish, I can start thinking about going back to the random Eberron adventure generator toolkit that inspired us to create this in the first place. This is a so I built it's like 80 pages of like randomly building plot lines and villains and locations and like plot twists and stuff. It's it's a bunch of D100 lists keyed to Eberron characters and locations and events and stuff that we can then we then randomly rolled an adventure and created this. And I've talked about this before. It's been a while though, but I kept when I was writing this book about like how to weave together like combat and exploration, and then like an encounter, you know, like a challenge. How to weave together combat and exploration, or like if you set up an exploration challenge, but the team is really getting into this social dynamic with some of the NPCs in the area. How do you switch gears so this thing that you set up, like you can lead them out of combat into an exploration challenge, or they're in an exploration challenge, you can lead them out of it into a social challenge, or either one of those things. You can lead them into combat. You can always lead people into combat. That's easy. It's backing out of it though, like getting out of a combat encounter and having it get addressed as social or as exploration. Like what does that look like? How do you do that? And so as I'm trying to build these philosophical ideas, they have it's practical application of philosophical ideas. So I kept having to come up with, you know, example after example after example of like, you know, if this is a combat scenario that you're walking into and you were going to convert it into an exploration challenge instead, then I have to like explain the entire combat encounter and then explain how you could rebuild it into an exploration challenge. It's like, you know what? It'd be a lot easier if we just built an adventure. So have an adventure that we can reference throughout this document. Hey, check out Crystals of Mabar, page 67. And you're going to see this combat scenario that we have set up in the underground fortress, but you could instead make this a social encounter by doing X, Y, and Z. And that's how you can sequence stuff. So this book is going to be 100% preview because I'm going to be referencing it in the adventure toolkit. So, and then I bundle the two together so you can get them both at a discount. But, and then once, so the idea is once the toolkit is done and I publish that, the dream is to find people that do the DMsGuild Adventure Workshop and start working with those guys to build random encounter generators, since Eberron's DMsGuild only. Since these people are recruiting into the DMsGuild to make adventures, it's like, let's roll a random adventure, and then you can take the lessons that you learned from the workshop and we can build an Eberron adventure together. Like that's where I want to get to. Or like when my stream builds more steam, you know, have folks hang out with me and roll up some random stuff, and then we can just like build an adventure together. So that's the big brain dream of my future. But and it's Eberron specifically, but I can export the thing into just generic adventures. Not necessarily Eberron. It's just Eberron's popular on the DMsGuild. It's the only place you can buy Eberron stuff. So it's a good captured market for that I just coincidentally fell in love with before the DMsGuild existed. So yet again, everything's turning up Millhouse here. And it's like the fates are like, you should hang out on the DMsGuild and get into that community and build things there, regardless of what's going on in the current zeitgeist. It's like I want to build into that resource and just make things with people. I think it's cool. Philosophical ideas. One might say that. But yeah, that's my big dream. I want to be a river to helping people, you know, have the confidence to go out and do their own shit. Which is why I created this stream in the first place, to show people, you know, this is, I mean, there's a lot of artwork, so it you know, it's daunting because of how much artwork I'm doing. But the martial power system, you know, I'm like at episode like 45 of the martial powers, which is probably about like 100 some odd hours of development so far, and it's almost done. You know, like we took that from a pretty bare bone idea that I started off with. Like, here's some ideas, and I collected a bunch of different class features and subclass stuff, and then we slowly hammered it into a thing. And like that's, and you know, and then we'll push off the edits, and we'll do all. It doesn't have any maps or anything, so it's going to be a much. Doesn't have any token requirements, so it's going to be a much lighter lift than what either one of these books are. Because I mean, they're adventures. Like the Spelljammer also has Light as Araxis, remastered in it. So not only is it like a heavy supplement book, it's also an adventure document. So that is like the absolute heaviest lift I could possibly attempt. So, but you know, and now we got this adventure. So that's like 2 adventures that I'm crushing my way through, and I know I can do it, which means I can keep doing it. I could potentially even get into like 1-page dungeons. Like if we did 1-page dungeons, I think, oh god, what was that? I think actually doing 1-page dungeons would be really, really fun. I just gotta clear my plate of all these large projects. Will I ever be done with large projects? The answer is possibly no. So I keep finding more stuff I want to do. I gotta say though, I was excited about the Golden Key heist book that they did the trailer for. It sounds like they're saying, like, you know, play different roles. I'm not sure how they're going to play that out, but it looks like they actually took some time to consider how to run heist mechanics inside of 5e, which, you know, I've been talking about off and on here for a couple weeks. It's definitely on my radar. But the question is, as always, like, how flimsy is it going to be? But if it's flimsy, it's going to inspire like a billion heist things on the DMs Guild or across the Reddit or whatever. Hate Wizards if you want. They're an industry leader, obviously. Almost all of my work on the DMs Guild is hold my beer conversation. You know, it's like they didn't create color mana. Here, hold my beer. I'm gonna make color mana, and then I did it. And hey, there's no real mechanics for spell point warlocks. Like, hold my beer. I'm gonna do that. Spelljammer sucks. Hold my beer. Dragonlance doesn't actually do war in a war store. Hold my beer. Like, it's all hold my beer shit. So, they announced they're going to do a heist book, and I'm already like, I'm already popping open a beer for somebody to hold for me, and God knows what that's going to turn into. So, but you know, I'm gonna have to check it out to see what mechanics they allude to. That folks will want to flesh out, me being one of them, because I want to get my Guilds and Kingdoms book done, so I can start using the guild resources for heists. There's a lot of cool stuff we can do with resources once I publish that. Like, a lot of cool stuff. And once all those books are done, like the Spelljammer book, the Squad and Armies, the Guilds and Kingdoms, yeah, those are the 3 flagships. Once those are done, I can start weaving them all together and building interesting toolkits. Really interesting toolkits. The question is going to be, am I going to publish them on the DMs Guild, or is it just stuff I'm going to build and put on my Patreon? And we'll figure that stuff will become evidence when it's time to be manifested. So I don't really actually have to worry about it right now, but I'm excited that it's on the horizon. These little puddles. I like these little puddle things. God, that feels good. That's looking pretty good, man. Yeah, we're gonna go underground after this, and then we're going to do the village last. Well, technically the vignettes are gonna be last, but the large set piece, the last large set piece will be the village, and then we have like the farmhouses, like the abandoned farmhouses. We need to make a generic farmhouse, and there's like the tree of woe. We have to build the encounter map for that. The sinkhole we've already worked on. Some of the illustrations for the sinkhole, the abandoned greenhouse, and then the cobblestone paths, the forest hanging tree, and I think that's it. I think I was just going to do some like random shrubbery and stuff like that, just like random locations that the DM can just drop in for random encounters. Because there's shitloads of random encounters in this book, shitloads of them, and there's like roll a d10, and on 1 to 3 nothing happens. On 4 to 6 you have like this somewhat mundane creature, and 7 through 10 it's this nightmare abomination. And then we have like modifiers like if you've been to the if you've made your way to the fortress and then retreated for a long rest, now you only roll a d4, or you roll a d10 and you add 5 to the result, so you're only rolling 6 to 10 all the nightmare creatures that are coming after you, because they got a scent for you, they have a taste for you now. So if you go someplace and you back out, it gets more violent for you on a return trip, because you left so you can get more resources to come back. So you come back refreshed at a later stage in the adventure. We have to hit you harder. So the tables that we have at the low end, like the low numbers, are like weak, like in the forest is like sturges, an infected wolf, a will-o-wisp, maybe, like things that aren't like too dangerous. But then it's like later on in the list, it's like a barghast with 3 shadow mastiffs, 2 revenants that are pissed off at people in the village that you're trying to protect, 3 specters, stuff like that. Like it's like escalating threats the further down the list you go. And then again, you manipulate. You'll actually see that in the Spelljammer book too. Like for the wild system generator that we built. It's like what type of a system is it? Roll a d10. It's like on a 0. It's a black hole system. Everything's being pulled into it, and everything will be destroyed eventually. How long until it's destroyed? Roll this long. Or like 6 to 10. It's a I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling, but it's you'll see it. But I like stacking. I like stacking the tables that way. Like if this happens, roll on this same table, but roll a d4 plus 5. That kind of thing. Or d4 plus 6. So you have results 7 to 10 are now the only viable options. Or like this is an undead world. The only creatures that can exist here are undead, aberrations, and constructs. And like it's like constructs, aberrations, and undead are like 8, 9, and 10 on the list. So like roll a d3 plus 6 to get your result, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but it's fun. I like manipulating tables like that. I think they're really fun. Here. Anyway, all that to say, like, when you're doing random encounters, if you want to have a random encounter but you don't want to kick your party's ass because they're on the ropes right now, you could roll a d4 instead of a d10. Or if they're doing really well, you can roll a d6 and add 4. You know, so you can control where on the random table it is as a means of directing yourself. I mean, you can just pick something off the list, obviously, whatever feels right. But just the idea of being able to manipulate the variables on one, like you can use the same table like 4 different ways. I think that's really fun. We're lowering the strength of my smudge here so I can have a more delicate gradient fade in. Like that. Oh yeah, and these guys are meeting up over here. That's great. Really, really digging this. This is still choppy over here. I need to clean this up. Where are we at? We're at 8:30. I'm going to give myself just a little bit more time. I'm going to give myself another 20 minutes, and then I'll kick out of here. But I think I'm happy with this structure overall. It needs a little polishing. For sure, but overall, it's pretty dunzo. I like all the shapes. Now it's just a matter of like this refinement of like this gradient over here, like really smoothing out that gradient. So it's just a glassy, smooth gradient. God, that feels so good. I love. Real smooth, quiet gradients. It just feels like airbrushing to me. I love that. Fucking cool. It's just so cool. I love these things, man. Look at that. Sick. Just sick. I'm going to move out of that, and I'm going to come back over here. Yeah, this guy's like rough. I'm going to punch up my strength here to 70, 80. Yeah, we're at 80. Too rough. Look, it's all jaggedy. It's not the same. It just doesn't look the same as this. Like this has like smoky smoothness to it, like a little bit of waver to it, but it's not choppy, It's not rough cut. This is obviously still early in the process and still has a lot of rough edges that I just need to, like when I'm buffing them out, I need to make sure it's not just too smooth and boring like that. It has to have these like little chops, but the amount of curvature versus hard edge that like this is too much of a cut like that, It doesn't feel natural. So I have to fix that. I have to smooth it out like water would do, Viscous, the stuff flows. So it can't be all rough edged and prickly. That's a good word, prickly. The water is never prickly. This got some really screwed up water. Check your shit. Oh yeah, we can just do like that. That's nice. I like that. Take that down a little bit. Drop the strength of that smudge so it's easier to blend this in. But I like this. I like that. Have this spill down like this. That's working out. God, I might just come back and do this tomorrow morning. Every time I get into the Eberron cartography stuff, I just fall in love with it. And then I step away from it and I start working on Spelljammer stuff, and then I fall in love with Spelljammer. It's just I am truly blessed that I love these things so much. Considering how much time they take, it's a damn good thing. I'm really interested to see how the final work is going to end up. Just excited about that. Yeah, I like this song. This is good guitar work. I'll turn it up a little bit for us all. It reminds me of Ghost in the Shell. Soften that up a little bit, drop it down to what, 30? Good. Use that gradients again to soften that edge up so that this doesn't feel like it feels like it's sliding together instead of clashing, you know? I want spots where things are bumping into each other and clashing against each other, but other places I want to have it smooth into each other. 60? Yeah. All right. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm digging this. My brain is trying to tell me, my brain is trying to cycle through the things that I could be doing tomorrow morning during stream, and I honestly don't know which one's going to win out. There's two wolves inside of me. One is made of Eberron, the other one is made of spell jamming. And whichever one's finished first is probably going to be whichever one I feed the most. So I have to close this out because it is locked up on me. It's locked up very little on me today. I'm pretty happy about that. We got 8:45. Yeah. We got about 10 minutes left, so we're just going to keep mashing on this for a little bit. And I'll head out of here for the night, get some sleep, jump back on Bright-Eyed Bushy Tail tomorrow and tear it up. But what will it be that I do? I don't know. Just finished my NPC art for the day. Did I miss anything? Probably not. Just be rambling about whatever I ramble about. Congrats on the victory, my man. Yeah, I don't remember at all what the hell I was talking about for the past 20 minutes. Sometimes I have to go back and watch my own streams just so I can know what I was talking about. I have yet to feel like I've really stuck my foot. No, I feel like I stuck my foot in my mouth once, and that was like a month or so back. I won't bore you with the details, but I've been blessed to allow myself just to turn off my brain and let myself talk and push pixels, and so far not be utterly humiliated as a result of it. But it could happen, so subscribe and watch my content to see if I ever really just throw myself down into a hole and never get out of it. It could happen. You could be here watching it when it does. Like, subscribe, mock. Leave scathing comments down below, please. By all means. 80%, yeah, that's realistic. I'd be working at this. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's still rough. Yeah, it's still rough, but it is coming along. I'm gonna just drop that out of there and do like that instead. So I stay on the screen a little bit better. Like, subscribe, mock. Maybe. I do throw a lot of piss and vinegar around here, don't I? It's not off flavor for the channel. What I have realized is that I definitely have a bandwidth, and once I've exceeded capacity, I have a hard time creating just naturally like the energy stops flowing. So it feels like the shapes stop flowing with it, which is another reason why it's really smart to have more than one project in the pipeline. Because if you hit a roadblock with one and you can't just muscle your way through it, switch gears and let it loosen up. Wait for it to fall asleep and then hit it. Hit it hard. Mamoom. 5 minutes left, maybe? A little less. I can't actually believe I got that ship token done in one session today. I'm really happy about that. It was a small ship, but still. I started off wrong. I made some mistakes, but I was still able to get it done. That makes me very, very happy. We only have 9. Well, we have 6 small craft that we have to build deck plans and tokens for. So, but I only have 9 vessels left. That's cool. So we'll get done with that. Maybe next week? Question mark? Algernon? Maybe next week. We'll see. 2 weeks ago, I said this would be done in the week, and it isn't yet. I'm still working on it, but I can sense that this is actually truly almost done. I'm really looking forward to getting underground. This water texturing, coloring, whatever it is that we're doing here, process. I think this is the kind of thing that's like you just got to be done when you're done. I mean, we're not yet. I mean, this is still too choppy and broken, but it is going to get to a point where, you know what, that's glossy enough. You know, that gradient is smooth enough. The shapes are fine. You know, I'm going to get to a place where, like, as an artist, if you're working on a project like this where you have a lot of assets that you have to produce, sometimes you bore down, or at least sometimes I bore down and really just micromanage a particular piece. And a lot of the times it's because I'm low-key intimidated by whatever I think is supposed to be next. And it's easy for me to procrastinate by insisting on perfecting whatever it is that I'm working on. And just being good enough. Like Inzifer, who was hanging out with us for a while, he was really good about recognizing when enough is enough. Like when good enough is good. What was the expression? My martial arts instructor always said just enough is enough, because you don't want to waste more energy on an effort than it requires, because you don't know how many other things you have to do. And he's talking about warfare. Like if you're in a bar fight, don't focus on one guy, because he could have 3 friends you don't know about yet that have thus far been amused by you fighting their friend. But as soon as you get that lock on it, and you're looking at breaking his elbow, now they're pissed off and they're going to jump you with beer bottles. And if you don't know they're there, it kind of same thing with large ground like large skirmishes where you got 40 guys against another 40 guys. If you hyper focus on one guy, you get stabbed by 3 or 4 more, and then you're done. You're not helping anyone anymore. So just enough to get the job done is all the effort that is actually required. Anything beyond that is you're just putting yourself at risk of danger. And in the art world, that danger is burnout. Burning out on something because you're afraid of whatever the next step is the best way to keep you from having to take that next step. So it's just staying aware of where you're at, having that battlefield awareness, so that you can properly assess, how am I feeling right now? Am I, like, being able to ask yourself, am I intimidated right now? Is there something that I don't want to, I'm spending more effort on this than I need to because there's something I want to avoid and that I'm scared about. And if something comes back with a shiver, then chances are you're avoiding something, and the faster you can assess what that is and address it and soothe it, the more it's going to be able to become your ally and help you push through to the next step. But if you get lost in it, that's when you burn out, because that's a forced rest. So gotta really be honest with yourself about where you're at in a project. How's your stamina feeling? Do you need to take a break? How easy is this line flow coming? Like, if this stuff keeps flowing smoothly, then I'm strong and I can keep moving forward. But if I find myself arguing too much with any particular detail, it's probably because I'm tired. And it's time for me to either move on from that piece, that portion of the piece, or it's time for me to move on to a different project, or it's time for me to step away from the computer. You have those 3 degrees, those 3 DEFCONs that you can slide to. I'm not going to say, honestly, I have the opposite problem where my perfectionism will eventually turn into, I'm wasting too much time here, let's move on. Even when I might be better staying in that area. Touche, Monfrey. Touche. Yeah. I had that experience when I was around the 40th or 50th some odd picture in the Color Core Mechanics book. There's like 60 some odd illustrations in that book, and like around 40 something, I started to really realize that I started moving away from pieces sooner than I should have. I'm looking forward to remastering that project and redoing all of it, just so that I have an opportunity to spend more time with some of the illustrations that I feel like at this stage I can just do better, but still represent the product well. So that's another one of my back burner projects that are waiting for me to get done with these other books first. Color Mana, I'm actually waiting for 1D&D to be official and learn, is 1D&D something that people are going to want to use or not? Because if the DMsGuild is like, the DMsGuild doesn't really care what mechanics you put on it as long as it's framed like it's D&D. That's like where new mechanics go to die, basically. But unless they're popular and then they explode. I'm sure when 1D&D comes out, the DMsGuild is going to be able to continue having both 1D&D as well as 5e content. Well, I mean, now that 5e is Creative Commons, it's not like they can't ever shut down 5e at this point. So if I want to continue using 5e with Wizards IPs, and sell this stuff, then obviously staying on the DMsGuild is the place to be. But it'll be really interesting to see what OBS does about the edition shift. Like, are they going to create like sub tags for 1D&D versus like 6e versus 5e or whatever? We'll see. My alarm popped. It's time for me to eject. I just haven't hit the button yet. I'm guessing it has to do with my really bad ADHD. I get antsy when I stick to a spot for too long on a project. Yeah, very possibly. Very, very possible. Well, I mean, if it's a trait that you recognize, it's consistent in you, then yeah, I mean, you'll just learn to make your workflow complement that. You know, like that's the kind of limitation. It's like I need to have lots of irons in the fire, so I can swap out between them frequently. You know, and it sounds like you already do that. So I mean, you know what I mean. Once we realize what our flaws and traits are, we can start learning how to build around them and make them complement our personality and our flavor of expressing, which is something amazing about being human. I am attempting to extract myself from this piece. I've hit done. Like my time is done, but it's been a few days since I've worked on this, so it is appreciating my presence, and I can feel that appreciation. And I just want to keep giving it more love, which probably means that we're gonna do more of this in the morning. So, but God, man, that thing is coming along. It is coming along. Still a little fuzzy, you know? It's got the fuzzy breaks, but the shape of this is coming along really, really nicely. Hopefully you all agree. Yeah, I started looking at 14 different D&D projects, not including modules, of course. And now the OGL stuff is dialed down. I'm probably going to start blitzing through it. Nice, man. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. I think I'm done for the night. I think it was Leonardo da Vinci that said, or was it Rembrandt? That the best time to stop is when you really just want to do like that one more thing. There, follow my own advice. Like I really want to clean up this line here, and I want to clean up this line down here. Like this little fragment down in here is like the only real rough terrain left. Just that little patch. If I just gave myself like another half hour, maybe 40 minutes, I could lock all that down, and then I can just sweep through and just smooth everything out and be done with it. But that's the best time to stop, because I am highly motivated to come back and attack that. I know exactly what I want to attack. I think we're going to be doing this tomorrow morning. We'll have a good 2-hour block in the morning for us to really just crush this thing. And that should leave us then, I'm hoping, if the timing works out, the only thing that we'll have left at the end of tomorrow's stream is the roofs. And if I can get the roofs taken care of, then the whole thing is done. And that means that on Monday we can come back and start in on the underground laboratory. So, yep, that's it. That's us today. Here we are. This is Sparta. I am super looking forward to being back tomorrow morning. We'll be back in, it's 9 o'clock now, so I will be back in 9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours. We'll be back in 9 hours. So I'm going to catch some good sleep. Probably do some dishes. Hopefully while I'm sleeping. Yeah. All right. Hey guys, thanks a lot for hanging out. If you're lurking and you're checking this out, like I said, I do this almost every day but Sunday. So hang out, chill, drop me a comment. If you know where I hang out on Discord, drop me a line, say hey. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch out. So later, guys.